Sigma has done it again. Here's the world's first 200 mm wide open f2 lens designed for full frame mirrorless camera with optical stabilization. Sigma has three lines of lenses. The entry level is the contemporary lens, then comes the professional art line, and this is a sports lens, which means it will be able to handle speed in terms of autofocus, wide aperture, and an exemplary image stabilization. This lens also comes with a white coating, which is basically a thermal coating. So when you are using in hot conditions, it prevents the lens from thermal expansion and contraction, thereby ensuring image quality in all conditions. It is well built with a lot of controls all around the lens for autofocus, the focus limiter, the image stabilization. It also has a custom button and 3 buttons which can be customized, and it comes with an amazing lens hood which can be fitted with a screw, and the filter diameter is a whopping 105 mm. The lens weighs under 2 kgs. That means when you're shooting, you might fear, you might make little shakes and things like that. But this lens is equipped with a 6.5 stops of optical stabilization. So this lens comes in both L mount and in Sony E mount version, and both the versions I tested, the L mount on the Sigma BF and the E mount on the Sony A7 R5. This lens comes with a tripod mount which is Arca Swiss compatible, and it can go into an Arca Swiss compatible tripod. So we must have all used a 70-200 mm f2.8, and this gives a f2 at 200. So what will be the actual difference? So when it comes to a 200 mm, it gives a beautiful compression in the image, and it also gives a shallow depth of field. I thought between 2 and 2.8 there may not be an appreciable difference in shallow depth of field, but I was proved wrong. I shot a portrait of a person from head to toe, and there was a markable difference at f2. I think Sigma has magicians in the design department. I don't know what they have done with this lens. This lens is absolutely sharp from corner to corner. Then when I inspected this MTF chart, I found that in the center it was almost 100%, and as it comes to the peripheral area, most lenses it falls down quite rapidly, but even at the peripheral area it was almost close to 90%. That means it has corner to corner sharpness. I shot a temple tower at f2 and I found details everywhere in the frame. And when it comes to portraits, yeah, the shallow depth of field combination along with the impactful sharpness on the eyes produces some amazing pictures as portraits. So this lens will be definitely attractive for portrait photographers because it gives the compression, it gives the shallow depth of field, it gives the sharpness, and then the most important thing all of us expect, the autofocus performance. They have used this HLA motors which now Sigma is using in all art and sports line of lenses. The performance is extremely good. They are linear motors which will be able to move the elements very quickly between far and distances. Along with that, they have also provided the focus limiter switch. If you are able to give the right limit, the lens even focuses faster. I was able to catch some amazing action moments in the Marina Beach. I shot a cricket match between the guys at Marina Beach, and each shot was in crisp focus, and I was able to see the ball almost meeting the bat. That kind of action I was able to take. I think this lens is not just meant for portrait photographers. I think the real potential is in shooting sports, especially indoor sports, because it's at f2. But in outdoor also it helps because it gives an amazing separation. The other thing I shot was guys flipping on the beach, okay, and I could catch and focus even when they were approaching, running towards the lens and flipping before me. Every shot was in crisp focus. When it comes to animal, yeah, the animal IAF, the human IAF, everything was working properly. The tracking was amazing. So when it comes to autofocus performance, I was actually moved, and the image stabilization 6.5 stops along with the in-body stabilization in the Sony, it made a magical combination, I should say. So let's consider what is the use case for this such a lens. Of course, portraits, but there's a slight disadvantage when it comes to portraits. Yeah, your image quality is going to be stunning, shallow depth of field, sharpness, everything is taken care, but you need a huge distance to work with this lens. So I actually prefer the upcoming 135mm f2 for such portraits, which gives a similar depth of field, may not be the same compression, but was far more comfortable. I think this lens is more suitable for sports and shooting events like concerts and all those places where you have to shoot musicians at a distance in low light. It works amazingly well. So as an offbeat arrangement, what I did was that there was this Ganesha immersion happening at Marina Beach, and I shot a documentary kind of series, because in that series it was not possible for me to get close to subject because they were going into the ocean. I don't want to lose my camera, therefore I used a 200mm lens, and here are some of the pictures you might be able to see, and I was absolutely happy with that documentary shooting as well. One thing I really wanted to test, I couldn't test, was doing landscape photography at 200mm, and because it opens wide open at f2, I wanted to try a little bit of astrophotography also, but because of the cloudy nature of the season in India, I wasn't able to test that.